my God. Ken. I'm violent. It just started this morning. Hey, I like that though. I like that. Keep that same energy, all right? Keep that same energy. That's a good one, Ken. Keep that same energy. That's funny. It's funny because I wish you were right though. I know you. I know what you try to talk, but that's why it's even more funny, you know. I did think back. Was I high? I was always high, so I don't go understand what you mean by that. So that's why it's funny. But most importantly, I think, boy. Anyway, don't throw me off my game. It's too early. It's too early. Okay, but I like that energy. Just keep it. It's gonna be fun. All right. Let's guys.
So, Ken, no worry, no worry. As we dey wind down, as we dey round up the year, as 2025 five will be different, right? So that's why I do the hashtag, the Nigerian story. I think, joke apart from what you said, I don't now the kind of experiments. If you notice for the past these 2 weeks, right? At times I will come on my own, spend like 2 hours, times 3 to 4 hours. At times I allow people come, and so a lot of things have been things could change because I dey also review my the platform too in terms of how far we have come in terms of performance, which videos do better in terms of interaction, likes, well, and all that, and the topics, the people, I mean, the people that make the stories, all those things are they carry out the review all those data now. So at the end of the I'll do a show. I do one episode on recounting of how far we have come this year, and then talk about the new way forward, right? Because I think the platform should be more of a storyteller than but still the same. I mean, it's all about politics and policy, right? But it's a Nigerian story. Nigeria is a story that started, not to people start like, how do we go forward? Now, our time now, this our generation. So what do we do with the story? Do we continue the story? Do we? So I will try and everything that way will happen in the political. I will factor in as we go along. So, Ken, sorry, you go soon get your wish means that uh, the usual come up and talk and talk and talk and just pretty much 99% of the time people after just make one point before they go back to the usual character, either arguing or complaining or just displaying the same rhetoric that is being shoved in our head and all that kind. So, um, as fun as entertaining as that is, and I don't think with the message that I intend to uh, put out there is getting through, and I don't think we are growing too in terms of having a clear niche or difference with every other platform out there. Does that mean say the other platform no good? I'm trying to no. It should be. It doesn't make sense that by the time you go around 10 Nigerian platform, you have found more that every of us they talk about the same thing from the same angle, the same way, especially when it involves, let's say, a group of people that think alike now mob. Yeah, every space should be supposed to be a marketplace whereby if you go from one platform to another, you are hearing a different perspective from the same subject. So I don't think that is being achieved. So anyway, shit like that. By 2025, we see how we the goal is to be different and be abnormal. Right? I think for me, I think everybody we are too normal the way we approach and deliver things, and that's not surprising because in the framework of education, all of us are kind of educated the same way. So, um, especially since the goal of the nation states, you know, came to full blown success. Since if you want to go back to even the Romance days, right, when the whole idea of barbarism, barbaric people, the whole idea of Europe, nothing, don't see eye to eye. We're all, we're all in the struggle or in the push, the fight to achieve nation states. Because if you actually want to go back to or from the days of the hunter and gatherers. They no be so no be the way we live is not normal. The way we dey group ourselves in the state, we are, it's not normal, especially if you even come the go cities. You like it's as if we are building prison by our own self, right? But again, that's a conversation for another day. But since they force us into the nation statehood, things have become the world turned upside down very much. And some will argue that the Europeans are like a plague. They pretty much reconstruct the world by just act of barbarism and all that kind of thing. Bingo. Anyway, let's Ken, can you start out? So, but anyway, that's just a glimpse of what the direction of the platform will take as we move to the next chapter. So today we, in the spirit of storytelling, before 2 days break, I should say, is it 2 days? 2 days. We had a conversation that had to be involve more than just me or just two or three people. We were talking about what should be the story there. Well, the way forward, especially was centered around OB. No, I think I started from PDP. I think start PDP, the article. No, Konkoso and Jonah Duke. But OB is always in the conversation. Then PDP as a party. Then we looked at it with or without article going forward. Then before we even get to the OB proper, then was Dele Parotimi thing happen and it took take everything to a different level, which also play into the OB. So OB is always there. OB is always there at every junction. And I did talk am before, say, as a politician whose goal is the presidency. It doesn't matter where you are located in the country, geopolitical zone. Obi will always be at your mind, say, come on. Whatever calculation you are making, you only know that okay, there's a guy there who can change everything. Right? So to me, that's what I take it to mean that at every junction, the guy is always prognosing one way or the other. So now that one take us to the point of right now trying to compare the two people who seems to be on the two different way of seeing things or want to do things. I'm talking about Mole Shore and Peter will be then what is the possibility of the Lefarosi being the equalizer, right? Bringing things to, and that is because again, the nation states, the whole idea of as a country that your ideology comes second when it comes to trying to be at or be in everybody's business in the way of a public officer, quote unquote. Then one thing I understand, one thing I always say I take from this conversation is that our understanding of ideology, belief, morals, um, but at the center of it all, at the end of it all, is to get power because that's the only way you can actually not just achieve change in a larger scale, but also put it in a way that to like long because people believe that just because you achieve this or something, a regime give you this and it's going to be there forever. I like. So we talk about the implications and of ideologies on individuals then as a society. If we as a race, if we have an ideology and if we have what is that? Right now, I'm not trying to say like this Tony Shenatoni from Germany that thinks upside down. Now, I'm not trying to say the ability to articulate or set a moral standard or ideology for yourself is not there. But a situation whereby this is not who we are, right? Yes, they don't flip us, turn you around. So where do you start from? But man is say we only know what they teach us. I mean, only what they teach us we know. But anyway, so we go we do some look at that. Then we'll talk. We'll read it. We'll go through a chapter from Noam Chomsky's book, Understanding Power, where he talk about leaders and movements, which I mean it was spot on in terms of the conversation we did the obedience space, and the country at large, and again to those who who are more futuristic than some of us who already seen the post Nigerian Republic. Isn't that brave? The post Nigerian Republic. Anyway, let's go back to the past. Then before we start properly.
Like in all the nations of the world, the powerful political elites will determine who governs us. Like a proverbial knees on our necks, this nation is choking. We can no longer breathe. There is a shortage of air. We need to allow this nation thrive. I'm pleading with you tonight on behalf of millions of our people, more than 10 million of their children who are out of school, and more than half of the population who are in abject poverty. This nation cannot be taken as a private enterprise anymore. You, the ordinary Nigerian, can no longer keep quiet. The nation belongs to all of us. And this time around again, no sitting on the fence. We must speak up to rescue this nation. The continent of Africa is waiting for its giant to rise up and flourish. That is why 2023 election is a make or mar. Look, this nation cannot make a mistake with the choice of its next leader. It is a must we get it right. If you employ the best hands to run your private companies, we should have the best of us run the affairs of this nation. We must get leadership right, not only at the center, but across the states. Knowledge, crisis management skills, character and integrity, vision and courage to make tough decisions, effective communication skills, ability to unite the nation. Leaders who cannot show these traits cannot be hired. Enough is enough. Nigeria, arise, vote and vote right, and your time is now.
Ma tell you now why they laugh. Dr. Dameji, if you are there, Mr. James, yes, I will send you the link. I'll send you the link. Just give me like few minutes to lay down, to lay down my monologue and put, then I'll bring you in. What if they make me laugh now? Dr. Damage, if you are there, this is you, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, uh, you know, okay, I think, yeah, I can talk about this. I'm talking about specifically on, what's it called? 90 Minutes Africa, one of the many products that Dr. Damage bettered or engineer or founded or initiated, however, now use grammar describe them. 90 Minutes Africa is up there for me for the year as one of the top channel podcast I'll call them of the year. But that's not what we are here to do. We have time to talk about that. So he posted he gave a link a bit on the next show who is going to host on the next 90 Minutes Africa. A Nigerian fellow by the name Mr. Chukuma Okoro, co-host of this morning show on Voice of the People, okay, Voice of the People TV, and author of The Future of Politics. So that got me interested a little bit. I said, okay, maybe I see. So, author of The Future of Politics. As we begin our review of the outgoing year and look ahead to the new year, please check out this book on Amazon and join us for a fascinating conversation on politics, life, and media in Nigeria and beyond. 90 Minutes Africa, live every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time and 12:30 p.m. New York time. Please join us to watch on the Dr. Damage YouTube channel. Blah blah blah, and all that good stuff. See, Dr. Damage know how to. I like Dr. Damage for he is people never understand. I don't know. I think I know generalize this, but his way of marketing is show is up there, top notch. So me was my biggest now when I see him, I was like, huh, say that book. So I actually went on Amazon to see I'll see the book. Of course it's on Kindle and so I see the sample, read a little bit about you know, we to this the first few chapters where it was talking about uh Nelson Mandela and the other fellow from Singapore. But those characters are not my favorite characters I want to. So I say I can't message Dr. Damage is this say make him give me the book if you guys you borrow me to read if he has it before Sunday so that I because I sometimes tell me that the way Ingo talk about us, I think Mr. Chukuma Okoro laid out five shine spotlight on five leader. I think Nelson Mandela, and one way again. Anyway, so before that was like few seconds before I start. That's what I did read about. Now, since I just checked, now you don't reply me. Dr. Ravage is now this is why it's relevant. Why they read it is an ebook format and it's only $5, I think. It's funny because I know, and I think I stated that I know that I would disagree with the book, with the man point of view. In other words, I don't want to spend even not even a 1 cent on that because what's the point? What's the point? So when I know say there are so many books that are actually waiting to buy. So what is that? So that what to make me is to make I know the damage they laugh me. So but anyway, I think I will approach him like as I approach the other guests. Just maybe I go there with a blank slate. I don't know anything about his views, so that I know so some people see there we go. We will make a striking conversation. Anyway, Dr. Damage, if you're there, thanks for the distraction. So, as I said, Mr. James, I see you, but I get something here. Let me see if I will. So, as I said, we'll talk about the implication of ideology and its individual in society, right? So, this is my little work I did with my other associates. So, it's pretty much on the maybe within a page for the caption anyway. So, yeah, so since we are so eager and crazy about ideology and co, Mr. James, I will send you the. Let me send you the. Let me send you the. And I get the power to shout. So maybe I send it to you on. Let's say it. Mr. James, I just did. I just sent on to you the link. So it should be on your phone by now. An ideology is a system of belief, value, and principle that shape our understanding of the world. They are the lens through which we view the world, the filter that color our judgments, the compass guiding our action. But are they truly liberating? Or do they blind us, limit us, even enslave us? right? They are the lens through which we view the world, filter that color our judgments, the compass guiding our action. But are they truly liberating, or do they blind us, limit us, even enslave us? And I think if once we go back to the conversation we had those, those two past episodes, 2 days ago and 3 days ago, one can notice all this among all of us that was involved in that conversation. Oh, sorry, I think Mr. J, you're right. See, it is because the intention not to make I send you the YouTube rather than the link. Uh, no, fuck it. Mr. J, ma put down for comment section because if I have to log in on too many devices to get to. Now let's go on. The effect and implication on individuals, on an individual hold an ideology, whether it is be religion or political or social. It offers a sense of belonging, a community of like-minded soul. It's provided answer to life's profound question. Where before I go there, before I even go further, let me highlight that one, right? It's a did. I mean, if there's anything you can give it to the now for the sake of conversation, the obedience and the take it back movement is this distinct that effect is having on the individual in terms of when it comes to ideology, right? They pretty much cut like religious like. It doesn't matter if it's religious view or political view, social offense. This sense of belonging is always there. So if you are trying to have a conversation with one, then before you know, the other person will come, but with the same narrative, not even from different angle. That's another annoying thing about the whole way this thing is having. Anyway, it provides answer to life profound question: where do we come from? What is our purpose? How should we live? The certainty can be comforting. Now, among these few literary questions that we are putting out here is that where do we come from is one thing that these two movements, whatever ideology, are not even they are even scared from their leader to the last person, are not even asking, where do we come from as a people? This my ideology that I am running with. What is the foundation? Where is it coming from? What is the purpose? Right? That's why it's very difficult for them to actually see the difference between winning power and winning the people. Right? They don't know the purpose of why they are doing whatever they are doing because the goal is to fix on the leader. How should we live? Right? That's a big contradiction between the two of them. Once they burn it down totally and rebuild another way we want. Like now these are cliche teachings and personal there, but not necessarily in that one. So it forces us to fit in a world into preordained mode, right? That's why they always refer to them that they live in a bubble. They live in a bubble. Now, in society, it shapes our collective consciousness, our understanding of the good, the just, the desirable, the inform our laws and institutions, our very ways of life. A society built on principles of liberty and equity, for instance, may foster innovation and progress, but it may also breed individualism and social fragmentation. A social obsessed with security, on the other hand, may achieve stability, but at the cost of what individualism. That's the whole point. We don't want to. We don't want to put our ideology, whatever we believe in, second in order to accommodate that one, so that we can achieve stability first. because you have to kill your individualism for it to coexist with the next person. And that's the point I was trying to get the two parties to understand. But for where, so the danger lies not in holding ideology, but in their rigidity. It is their refusal to evolve, to adapt to the changing reality of the world. Things like the track push and say, come. Today, world, the nation state, that's not how things work. You know, because you are not, it doesn't matter if it's obvious that you are Elon Musk, the most important freaking human being as far as I'm concerned as of today in terms of what he's doing. Still, nobody cares. When ideology becomes dogma, when it is used to justify oppression, to silence dissent, to dehumanize the other, it becomes force for destruction, a barrier to human flourishing. Take it back, movement, Abi. Exactly how they present themselves. The challenge then is to find a balance, to hold our belief firmly, yet with an open mind, to engage with other ideologies, not to demonize them, but to learn from them, to find common ground, learn from them, to find common ground, to recognize the limitation of our own perspective, to acknowledge the complexity of the world, to embrace mercy, uncomfortable truths that there are really simple answers. Absolutely true. Only then can we hope to harness the power of ideology. I mean, I don't know why it was just so fucking hard. Hard! For people to get that. It doesn't matter who you is. There's no you. Just like our brother from Dr. If was trying to use Ubuntu adage to clarify his nonsense point he was trying to make. But this fits in perfectly. You are because of us. But if go they say no, only you, I want to then there's a fucking problem somewhere. To use them as a tool store for understanding, for progress, for building a more just and equitable world. A world where the tapestry of belief is not shrewd, but a vibrant, ever evolving, reflecting the rich diversity of human thoughts and experience. So now we will talk about Mr. James Novels. Let me bring some example that most people who hold this belief say the ideology is supreme. They would they use history to one back their claim we no follow up. Now this is from how government understanding government by Noam Chomsky. Right, this is a chapter from Noam Chomsky book, Leaders and Movements. He said, as an active, the question that is being asked. So, as an activist, I think we also have an obligation to get across the fact that we have found doing this, that we get matured by working on this issue, which are close to our essence. If we are looking to the long term and building up the types of institutions you are talking about, we have to project that a lot more than we do, almost as a way of recruitment. Too often, people image of the activist is of someone who always burn out. We have to create a culture that is engaging to people and exciting so that it doesn't just seems like we are putting in the hours and changing radical slogans. I think the people who have really made social movements successful have been the ones who did those things. They are gone from history, of course. None of the books mentioned them. Nobody knows the names of the people who really made the social movements in history work. But that is the way it has always happened, I think. He's trying to make case for people, ordinary people, who actually put their everything together to create a platform for that individual to take advantage of. Now, and this is even true of the recent one, like the anti-war movement in the 1960s. So there are a lot of books coming out these days that tells you what went on in the SDS, Student for Domestic Society, Student for Democratic Society. or what one smart guy said to one smart guy. But none of that had anything to do with why the peace movement in the 60s became a huge mass movement. From my own personal experience, this is a person who is really at the heart of things, personally involved in the 60s, experienced it, and that only a little piece of his obviously, I know who was doing the really important things, and I remember them like I remember that these students work hard to set up that demonstration. That is why I had a chance to talk there. And, and they were bringing other people into getting involved. They were enjoying what they were doing and communicating. That to other somehow, that's what makes popular movement work. But of course, that's all going to be gone from history, right? It should be fun. It should be something you are ready to accept others. In as far it is a common goal and common vision. Again, the two I'm trying to make the two movements in Nigeria understand. What will be left in history is just that fluff on the top. I am curious what you think about some of the more famous leaders of change like Martin Luther King or Muhammad Gandhi, for instance. You don't even seem to mention them when you speak. Why is that? Now, the journalist is asking Chomsky, who was part and parcel of the struggle too, from his own small place. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Hey, Mark, I greeted you too. Complimente. Okay. Somebody give me daddy. Manifest need to respond. This is important. So just few seconds. All right, let's get into it. Let me round up. So it was. This is his take on Martin Luther King and the famous one in terms of this is about leaders and movements. So, well, let's take Martin Luther King. See, I think Martin Luther King was an important person, but I do not think that he was a big agent of change. In fact, I think Martin Luther King was able to play a role in bringing about change only because the real agent of change were doing a lot of work. Again, talking about the people, not just the leader. And the real agent of change were people working at the grassroots level, like SNCC, that is Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, activists, for example. It's a part of the whole technique of disempowering people is to make sure that the real agent of change fell off history and are never recognized in the culture for what they are. So it is necessary to distort history and make it look as if great men did everything. That part of how we teach people they can't do anything. They are helpless. They just have to wait for some great man to come along and do it for them. See, now that's why they only talk. That's another thing you can say about these two people movement. They can't seem to see beyond that person, that guy. So what happened if that person is not there? And that's a big problem, but people don't seem to see that. Anyway, um, but just to take a look at the civil rights movement in the United States, for example, Rosa Parks, who triggered in 1950. Rosa Parks, now one person way, millions of listeners, for example, who triggered the 1955 monumental bus boycott protesting racial segregation. I meant the story about Rosa Parks is, oh, she just leave me alone. Ah, rest. My holiday, so just have to return to some. One
Like in
second.
all the nations of the world, the powerful political elites will determine who governs us. Like a proverbial knees on our necks, this nation is choking. We can no longer breathe. There is a shortage of air. We need to allow this nation thrive. I'm pleading with you tonight on behalf of millions of our people, more than 10 million of their children who are out of school, and more than half of the population who are in abject poverty. This nation cannot be taken as a private enterprise anymore. You, the ordinary Nigerian, can no longer keep quiet. The nation belongs to all of us. And this time around again, no sitting on the fence. We must speak up to rescue this nation. The continent of Africa is waiting for its giant to rise up and flourish. That is why 2023 election is a make or mar. Look, this nation cannot make a mistake with the choice of its next leader. It is a must we get it right. If you employ the best hands to
Mr. Jim, welcome. Just give me a minute. Let me finish this Rosa Parks story. So it's a Rosa Parks who triggered the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott protest racial segregation. I mean, Rosa Parks is a courageous black woman, suddenly decided, I have had enough. I am not going to sit in the back of the bus. Well, that's sort of half true, but only half. Rosa Parks came out of a community, a well organized community, which in fact has Communist Party roots. If you trace it back, things like Highlander School, a Tennessee school for educating political organizers. But it was a community of people who were working together and had decided on a plan for breaking through the system of segregation. Rosa Parks was just an agent of that plan. That all of history, what is history? What in history is one person had the courage to do something which she did, but not on her own. Nobody does anything on their own. Rosa Parks came out of an organized community of committed people, people who had been working together for change for a very long time, and that's how it always worked. The same was true of Martin Luther King. He was able to appear and give public speeches because workers and freedom fighters and freedom riders and others had prepared the ground and taken a brutal beating for it. And a lot of those people were pretty privileged kids. Remember, they chose it. They didn't have to do it. They had the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King was important because he could stand up there and get the cameras. But these other people were the real civil right movement. I'm sure he would have said the same thing too, incidentally, or at least he should have. As for as for Muhammad Gandhi, hmm, again, it is the same story. He had a very mixed record, actually, but the point is, it was the people on the ground who did the work that prepared the basis for Gandhi to become prominent and sort of articulate things. And when you look at any other popular movement, I think it's always like that. It's a leverage change. As we work to build up that kind of movement, what do we think are the best method we should? Uh, Say the word, let's start with them. M- Mr. James, compliment of the season, as they say. Have they added the talk for?
You say,
I say, Merry Christmas. Have you added the talk for Gambia?
this is a Muslim society. Over
Oh,
90% Muslims. Yes, the Christians are very, very few. You hardly notice. In fact, on Christmas Day, no, in the area where I live, I did not even notice anything. I think I only heard Christmas carols not more than twice or thrice.
yeah. So there was no
Christmas,
special holiday, just a
no, there was
regular, a
there was
normal
a
day. Everything goes.
yeah, there was a holiday, official holiday, but businesses open as usual, as if nothing is going on.
Mm. Which is typical of Muslim countries anyway.
Anyway, that is a matter of religion. So,
Right. So what's going on? What's our observation of things where we are as we round up the year?
you mean in Nigeria?
Okay.
Repeat it
That's
again.
our yes, yes.
Repeat it.
I'm just asking that. I just asking that. What are you being following? What's new, politically speaking, and in terms of where we are here.
In Nigeria, what is really, I, I, I think for the past 2 days or so, I heard something very disturbing. The government of Niger is accusing Nigeria of planning to use Nigeria as a terrorist base to destabilize Niger. I think an army general in Nigeria revealed the information, if I'm not wrong. I read it, maybe Sahara reporters on one of these papers, that the French government is working through the Nigerian government to destabilize the Sahelian states.
I mean, there's nothing that is going on now that has not been going on for almost 20 years in that region. So it's not new. But I think I understand what you are saying, that they are allowing the French to set up base and all that. But the question we should be asking is, when Buhari was there for 8 years, who are those other countries that were manning the whatever that the French are now doing there? Because it's not be
Well,
say it wasn't as if there's nothing going on there. There were other countries there, right? Now power has changed, so things have to change. Why? That's the question I'm asking. I'm not saying what is going on it should be supported, but it's not new. It's just that leadership has changed. So business benefactors have to change too. You know?
when Buhari was in power,
Yeah,
Bazoum, I think they call him Bazoum. He was in power in Niger.
yeah,
They had excellent relationship. The French got what they wanted from Niger. But
yeah.
okay, now it is
No,
from the look of things.
On the Nigerian side, on the Nigerian side, there were other countries too exploring things. So who was there?
No, no, the Chinese,
Exactly.
for example, the Chinese were in
Uh,
Nigeria.
Now,
The Russians were not in Nigeria.
good. So the Chinese are gone. The other people have to come in.
No,
So now power
uh,
change hand.
no.
Mr. James,
The Chinese
they
are
just
still
want you,
the
huh?
Chinese are still doing good business in Nigeria.
It's exactly the same thing. The
No,
most
unlike
important thing is to understand that when power change, this is what you are going to hear. If somebody has come to power in the next 8 years, maybe you hear that they are either Israeli or Pakistani that will be in charge. So
no,
what I'm
that is
trying to
not.
say, the same thing, nothing has changed. It's just the actors that are changed. We are getting it now is because the in the last 8 years, the news was different because they are the one in power, so they control what comes out. They control. They will tell you what's going on in their backyard. So nothing that is happening today that didn't happen 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago in that region. As far as I'm concerned, nothing. It's just actors change. The world is changing, so it's a normal
Yeah,
thing.
no, no. You see, the world is changing. I agree. But what we should be concerned with is the accusations they are making are very weighty. Weighty. I
Honestly,
mean, no, no. Look at it this way. There's a new terrorist group in Sokoto or somewhere around that zone, and from what I read in the newspaper today, the government of Nigeria, if I got the information right, is collaborating with some, you see, I don't want to lie against the government of Nigeria, but from what I mean, what I'm trying to, what I'm understanding is the government of Nigeria, according to the Nigerians, they want to use Nigeria as a base to destabilize Niger. It has very serious implications because if they succeed in using Nigeria as a base, there is absolutely no way you can stamp out the effects of that decision from Nigeria, even if they succeeded in disorganizing the Sahelian states. The remnants will remain. There were some rumors in the past that they imported some people to remove Jonathan from office also, but surprisingly, Jonathan surrendered power. Those people became something else in Nigeria. So we should also expect the same thing. If the information is true, if it is true that we are planning to use Nigeria as a base against an African state, there is need for us all to be worried because for me, I don't see things from the northern leaders' point of view, but we should all condemn this action, and it is their responsibility to make sure that this does not happen in their territory. For me, if it happened in their territory or not, it doesn't mean much to me. But what matters to me is that an African state is to be destabilized, if the information is true, with the help of Nigeria. If we consider the role we played, which earned us much accolade in Africa in the past, For we to turn around to do what is not expected of us from other African states, I think there's need for you and me to be worried. Because if they gain a firm hold on northern Nigeria, where else would they be coming? They're coming to the central part of Nigeria. From the central part, they come down south. In fact, before they reach the southern, before they reach the southern part, they must have ravaged the whole of the north, reduce it to ashes. So anyway, we have enough problem. If the information is true, somebody should call the government of Nigeria to order. Then if it is not true, the government should be brave enough to come out and make a public pronouncement that the information is false. For now, I cannot say if Nigeria is actually complicit in if Nigeria is actually collaborating with terrorist groups or not, considering the amount of headache the terrorists have given us. And I also read somewhere, I think an army general or so was saying that the new terrorist group they are no longer friendly. I read it in a newspaper. Have they ever been friendly to the people of Nigeria? Now, it depends on what they mean by friendly. If it is friendliness to a class of people in Nigeria or to the populace, that is a different, so you see, the country is in disarray. Let's call a spade a spade. And this is why way back 2022 or thereabout, on Symphony TV, I advocated the emergence of post-Nigerian republics. From the look of things, the center can no longer hold. So this is how I see the whole show. All we are just talking now is grammar. When calamities start to befall each and every one of us, all this grammar we are talking will be meaningless. So now is the time for us to chart a new course. Nigeria is beyond repair. So that is my submission.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. James. I only worry about things that I don't understand. So I'm not worried at all. 'Cause as you said, nothing that you said now, that if I go back to 5 years ago, I will not see exactly the same thing coming out of Nigerian media. So, but most importantly, I don't even know why we think I think we have this illusion that we run things. When I mean with the whole continent of Africa, as I say, we dey run things. No, we don't. No leader is seated in Africa that is put there by the people, by the so not even the people, even by their own elite. So I don't know why we are we are angry if the people that run the continent are switching themselves. So we are worried about things that we cannot control and focus instead of us to focus on what. So there's nothing that is
We,
happening.
we, we should be worried for one reason. We are not the only colonized people of the world. The whole of South America, Spain nearly conquered everywhere, with the exception of Brazil, Suriname, and maybe Belize, if I'm not mistaken. The whole of Central and South America. Asians were also colonized. But these people that were colonized along with us, they are making giant strides towards industrialization and organizing themselves properly. Now, if Africa is not making any progress, there must be something responsible. And this I pin down to, outside influence. Africans are allowing people to dictate to them how they should live. You get the point? Not long ago,
Yeah,
I was
but so why see if you say that's the problem, which I agree with. So why are you not alarm now? Why are you not alarm yesterday? I'm not saying you in particular, but what I'm trying to say, nothing has changed. I don't even
no,
know how
you
to
see,
explain
no,
this.
nothing can change.
No,
Let me just
no. I didn't say nothing can change. That's not what I said. I said
under the
nothing
new
has changed.
under the
Mr.
present
James, Mr.
under
James.
the present dispensation, nothing can change. Under the present
No,
dispensation.
but Mr. James, it's not even the change. We have to actually accept. All this, no, I don't know the country you want to mention in South America or in Asia that is free today. Or they are making that giant improvement that you are talking about without necessarily saying this is how it happened. None. I think that's where we are getting it. We are getting it wrong. None of these countries, none of them they free.
Some time ago, I sent you a book on the history of South America. It's very voluminous, so if you're unable to read everything or even read the book, I
Yes,
do not know you. Now, the issue is this. Look, Not long ago, I was composing an article on witchcraft. You know witchcraft?
Yeah,
Good.
that is European way of life.
Very good. Now, witchcraft, our African witchcraft. Now, one thing I notice is the accusation of witchcraft cannot be addressed in the courts of law in the whole of Africa. No African country has been able to address that problem in any court of law. The reason is because all the judges, both the French speaking, English speaking, Portuguese, and the Spanish speaking judges, were trained by the white men to reason like the white people, and they brought white ideas to dispense justice in Africa. So how do you expect changes to occur? You are not a white man.
So that's what I'm saying. So why do you think it's different from what is happening in Nigeria and Nigeria border? It's the same. So I think there's no way you can separate that and you think you want to actually achieve. That's the problem I'm trying to say. Everything is connected. The pastor way they pray innocently is also part of the whole chain. So for you to be focused on what is happening, that means it's as if you are not following the history. That's why I say nothing has changed from this story you are giving. Even the South and North America you are talking about, nothing has changed. So you need to, if we don't understand that, we cannot. That's why I say it is not our fault that we are enslaved. But the fact that we don't know that, I say that's the problem. We can never get out of it. Everything
But
is
you said,
important. Everything is connected. Doesn't
what do
matter
you mean?
how or where it happened.
What do you mean that it is not our fault that we were enslaved?
No, I mean I mean how we are born slaves. Me and
Okay.
you, we are
The
conquered. That's what I'm saying.
issue is that the white man conquered us
Yes.
because of our negligence.
No.
We were negligent.
No. Oh,
Why?
answer. What do you mean? What do you mean by negligence?
Now, what I mean is this. When the white man came, we received him with
Hmm.
open hands. People like
Okay.
Bongo Park, David Clapperton, Stanley, and Livingstone, they came as explorers. We received them with open hands.
Okay.
Now, when they came with the gun, as I was explaining, I think on Dr. Damage's program or this very program, when the Ashantis were fighting the Fantis, sorry, when the Ashantis were fighting the British, the Fanti people said that is their own problem. Even the Ashanti people, their wahala too much self. Let the British deal with them. And the British dealt with them. When Oforame of Benin was attacked by the British in the punitive expedition of 1897, neighboring Oyo Empire was there. They did absolutely nothing. And this is the formula they use in conquering the whole of Africa. When they are dealing with one empire or kingdom or ethnic group, the others, they just feel unconcerned. So for our inability to read between the lines shows that we were negligent. That's number one. Then number two, no, excuse me, people were coming and going to Africa, especially the Arabs. They were learning from us, but we refused to learn from them. Other than going there on pilgrimage and all those kind of stuff, we refused to um, they were making advances, whereas we were even stagnating because we were interacting with them. We found things so easy to the extent that our philosophers in those days could not even invent the act of writing. I think maybe with the exception of Ethiopia, they have their own handwriting. The rest of Africa, there's no ethnic group that put anything on paper that happened before the coming of the white man. So all this amount to negligence on our part. We were not tactful enough.
Um. I mean, I don't know where to start to respond to your summation from because instead I would say is you are talking about recent history, which is wrong because we were told by the same people, right? All these things that you're talking about were told to us by the same people that conquer us. So on based on that premise, I don't believe the way their story. Now, because one part you are missing is that when you say they came, we accepted generally, that was not what happened. Do you know how many generations of Europeans that could not succeed penetrate the continent? As they come, then they finish them.
No,
Now,
no.
the,
Okay, continue. Let's.
where the part of the world that I live in today, America, we had it better than them. Because them, nobody to tell they could not live to tell their story. They wiped them out. By the same people, it's the same people that visited us, visited them. They are not telling their story as we are telling our story. Every inch of that, the whole continent, both the South and the North America, are different civilizations today entirely. That's one. Go to the Asian countries. The only today in history, the only group of people that they could not penetrate and decimate the way they do those are the Chinese people. Still, they still force their way in. So the idea that we come, we accept them is false.
No, no. When I
That's why
say
I started, Mr. James, let me finish. That's why I started this conversation with the nation states. When did we have nation states? You can say maybe dated to 500 years ago. The, the idea of slavery, colonization, extinction was all in the journey of making the planet Earth into nation states. So if you dive into the history of the barbarians, the Europeans, that all they know was just destroying themselves. Before they even decided to journey out, it was because they tired of destroying themselves that the adventure take them around with that same mentality. They are the one, they are like a plague. Anywhere they touch, they destroy. So you are talking about the history of late 18th and 17th century. To say that do you know the story of the African journey to the European world? Nobody say that part. They will just classify us as if we are just people who just have it. No, it was never like that. So until we actually go back to the basis and understand the history, the Benin Empire you talk about, it was coming the second time before the successful in winning. The first time they come, they finish them. In the middle of the 18th century, they finished them. The greatest empire came, they wiped them out because of their own intellect and intelligence of gathering information. It was the second coming, they have to actually offload the whole artillery in Britain to come and destroy that place.
yeah, you see, what I was saying
So
is,
to say that we are just there living no, we should be.
let me chip in something. What I was saying is this: when they, according to you, they invaded Benin twice. While the invasion
Not
was
according to
taking
me, not me. That's
no,
history,
no,
not me.
okay, now, while the invasion was taking place, what were the neighboring kingdoms doing?
Every
You want to tell
that's a, hold on, Mr. James. It wasn't a country. It's
no,
not as if hold on, Mr. James. These are different people civilization. How do you know they even know what is happening? It's not like today that anything happened there we know today. To travel from Arkansas to Washington, then if you win presidency, it takes 6 months. So when you say what are they doing, as if they were friends, they were neighbors keeper. No, it wasn't like that. Those people don't even know
no,
themselves. They are living their best life differently.
look at it this way. The Ashantis and the Fantis, the British Ashanti wars, I think there were about 3 or 4 wars, if I can't remember the exact number of wars they were fighting. While the fighting was going on, the Fantis were aware that something was happening to the Ashantis. They just folded their arms, and the Ashantis were eventually defeated. This man, Samori Toure of Madinkan Empire, he fought the French for for 7 consecutive years. While the fighting was going on, the neighboring states knew. These were African people. They knew what was going on. But nobody did anything to come to the rescue of their neighbor that is, being conquered. So this
Mr.
is what I
James,
mean.
Mr. James, Mr. James, Mr. James. That's why I said we are not different from every other people around the world. Why do we have South Korea and North Korea? Why do we have all those people? Or is it busy because they betrayed themselves? Again, you are telling the story of literally after First World War. You are not telling the story, the first, second, third, fourth century, we are individual or group journey to that part of the world. How successful was it? The North Korea, a lot of people don't understand the dichotomy between North Korea and South Korea. It is still the same betrayal that you are accusing the Ashanti of, which is of recent in the 40s, 1940s. Right?
Ashantis?
No, I'm just what I'm trying to tell you what you're accusing Ashantis of doing. It happened here in the 1940s within the Koreans. I'm pointing that out to say that to be accusing us that oh we just sit down everything. No, North Korea, just here in the 40s, 1940, 1945, 1946. What happened? It was because the South Korea are in bed with the Japanese in favor of the Americans. So a lot of people don't know the paranoians that led the North Korea to be doing what they are doing. They felt betrayal by their own southern, just as we are talking about the northern Nigeria, right? So imagine now this when you start the story that we started with the activities of the southern Nigeria and all that. Imagine we just keep following the way you are following with that same energy, and fights broke out, right? And the northern Nigeria decided to say, okay, they want to support. Then the southern Nigeria said, no, that's a betrayal. They invaded the north. That's what we have South Korea and North Korea today. This is recent. So when you're accusing Ashanti of that fault, you also have to take your step back a little bit. How did they even discover that region in the first place? What happened with the group of people that discovered that region? The second group of people that came, how were they able to study our warriors? Because we do have warriors. What happened to them? If you still go back to Dele Ogun's book, the fatherless people, two techniques were used. They came, they studied all our warriors and our chiefs. The people who can actually withstand them, they decimated them first among us. Right? So this is that people just sit down and no, the world not be like that. When they say civilization start from that part of the world, there's a reason people are saying that. So it is the history that these people are telling us that we are repeating. It is not like that. We have to go back. Because as I said, the continent of America as a whole, the people, the original people there, are not living to tell the story today, unlike us. So if you think
Amen.
our people are weak, what are you going to say of those people? Are they weak
No,
too?
I'm not saying our people are weak.
It was the same,
No,
okay, but at the same faith, it was the same people, the same treatment, the same strategy, but we are alive today, they are not.
no, I'm not saying our people are weak. We put up resistance. That resistance, that's the African colonial wars. But while the wars were going on, our petty hatred for each other, excuse me,
No,
noise,
no, 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 no. The Chinese also have war. These are Mr. James. You just eliminate the idea of a nation state. The world wasn't like this. The way we live today is abnormal. It is
no,
abnormal. It is the formation of the Western world. It is abnormal. The Chinese
no,
also have the same war. Everybody they protect themselves against the next neighbor all around the planet Earth, not just Africans alone. For we to do it more than every other woman on earth, say something about our engineering, about our culture, about our governance. You don't just do that kind of war out of foolishness. No, it takes a law, it takes a people. And the war that was built in Benin started from what? Started from, I think, about the year 700. It took over 5 centuries to complete. So it wasn't a fluke. They didn't just wake up and do it. No. And
I am not
again,
saying,
nobody will come and still watch you know better than you. Nobody will do that.
I am not saying the people are weak. Africans are weak. I never said so. Africans would have won the war, African colonial wars. But the white man got what we do not have. And also we had something which worked in our favor. That thing they have, which we do not have, is the Maxim gun. And what we have in our favor is the mosquitoes. Eventually they conquered us, but they could not retain their grip on us in most parts of Africa, particularly West and Central Africa, because of the presence of mosquitoes. And it is the mosquitoes It is the mosquitoes that drove them eventually out of Africa. I'm not saying Africans are weak, but we will have been excuse me.
No, Mr. James, it is the same machine gun they took to the Americans. They took it's the same people. So we haven't lost the fight yet. For us to still be having a conversation about it, that means we haven't lost. As I said, there are some races that are not alive today. They were wiped out. The history says that we are almost in the same population. If you want to go about 25 to 30 million people in the African continent and about 35 to 35 million people in the American continent. Today, how many are there and how many are we? So let's put this into perspective. We haven't lost yet. You understand? We are just acting like victims, just like the Jewish people of today. We need to, if you go study the history of Jews, they face the same fate that we are facing today.
If we have not lost yet, that is good. What are we doing to preserve ourselves from getting lost? This is not,
we are still fighting. They are still fighting. We are still fighting.
Look at it this way.
Mr. James. Okay.
Continue.
We are still fighting. It is the same tactics that they use. They infiltrated us, study us, buy us, beat us. So that's exactly what they are still doing. It's just in a different system. Our leaders among us are just like all those people that you are saying they betray us. So it is still an ongoing fight. We haven't won yet. And guess what? Since these people are taking over the planet Earth, since they are taking over the whole planet Earth, the only other race that succeeded, they are succeeding is the Chinese. They are the only one that actually, coming out of what they put everybody to. They are the only one. And Haiti, that's why the history of Haiti is a very important one, not just to Africans, but to important the whole human race. Haiti, after they watch what the 13 colonies did by taking up arms and fighting and getting their own freedom, they went to war. Between that 1766 that America again independent, Haiti began to study what happened, what all the 13 colonies did to free themselves from the British. And guess what? At the end of 18th century, 1800s, almost over 100 years later, they figured it out. They kicked the French out. They did not just kick the French out, they become the most prosperous colony in the whole planet Earth. That 50% of the most sought after wealth, the sugar, was coming from the Haitian people, based on their organization. Those are our people. The people they take from us and put there. So they studied what the American Revolution did. They did the same thing. They implemented it. They kicked the French out. But guess what happened? The same European people they come out, and now we not go agree. For us to allow these people go away with this victory, before we know the Bahamians want to do the same thing. The Jamaicans want to do the same thing. Before you know the ugly man forgot. So guess what? They came together and sanctioned them. Is it the same thing that is still happening today? They sanctioned those people, they crippled their economy to make sure nothing. And what else? When you go from rich to poor, violence continues, everything just becomes they destroyed those people. They even put them on compulsory payments. They had to pay hundreds of millions to the French. They didn't even say, okay, they were doing it until they destroyed their economy. Guess what? They still attempt to come back again. In the 80s, yeah, go study the Clinton administration, late 80s to in the 1990s. When again, their rice production ability and system was the best in the world. Almost people, the American rice farmers, they had to come together and say, come, something has to be done. We can't compete anymore. They have to go together, they have to connive again with the Western world and sanction the issue. Say, Haiti must accept American rice. Today is a different story. But they will tell you that Haitian people are barbaric. They cannot govern themselves. They are evil. No. But nobody will tell you that. But those are the first people to actually free themselves before the Chinese are doing it now. Now, they be the first people that are brave enough to say, you know what? If these American people can free themselves from their own brothers and sisters, we can do the same thing. Those are pure black enslaved people. So there's so much that has left. Of course, people now them they in charge. If you pay attention again today, history is being rewritten. 25 years from, I mean, 50 years from now, this idea of two gender, it will be like film for you when you will see people they argue. They say there's nothing like that ever existed. It will come to that point. So these are now it's we are humans. Nothing we say we live in an organized world. Nothing where they have we just happen. Everything has a story. The countries who are quote unquote progressing, the Brazil, they are others. Just go look at the secret now. That's why I use Ukraine as an example. Ukraine is being devastated right now. But as things are going, billions of dollars have been awarded to BlackRock to reconstruct Ukraine. 30 years from now, if they come, the economy bounce back, we'll say, oh, you see them? They were in war 30 years ago. Now they are this. Hey, it doesn't work like that. Germany is a clear example. It's a clear example. Anytime where America want, they go switch them off. They go switch them on. So in the recess of freedom, everybody see the fight out. Our own is we haven't recognized that life is not supposed to be like this. That's why anybody with them bring come America, he don't work hard, don't make it become a millionaire. If this is life don't hit. He has forgotten that my person give him that check. So the things where they happen now is not just happening. So all our leaders, both the one where they talk from Nigeria and the one where they talk from Nigeria, what is their difference? How many of them they control what's under them? None. None of them. So the story go dey change today. If Obi become president, the story you will hear that now Israelites, now Obi go carry come. As if it was different from when the French are there, or it's different from when the Chinese are there. What difference does it make? It doesn't make. So that now what you are seeing is a competition, compensation. Just as I said, those that fought First World War had to be allowed to explore Africa to rebuild their economy back. Now, those who are helping to fight Russia have been helped to build their economy back again, because for Europe to say they won't fight Russia, there's a consequence, which is their energy, which is at the base of their civilization and production and everything. But they have to sacrifice that, right? Because they don't assure them, say, don't worry, we'll open Nigeria oil for you because now we get them. So instead of us to pay attention, the rotation, so that we will break them. So that's why I thought the woman will have a nationalist as a president. All these things will negotiate. Instead of we go there, say somebody don't cheat. Why can't we hear that a Nigerian exploitation mining company is partnering with a French company, is partnering with America under 20% to 80% anything? But no. If you go read the headline today, the Minister of Health, Mr. Pate, whatever they call him, that there are over 70 international companies who are ready to come in from 2025 to take about our pharmaceutical industry. What somebody will say that's the progress. It's not progress. So there's history to all these things. So when they don't say our leaders are all compromised, when you put it where that their appearance at Chatham House says everything, you were right. They know. They also understand the consequences. And that's why we need somebody that will understand it and say, okay, I'm ready to go for it. And that's where an hero will emerge. But all of them, they fear. The fear also come with, it is not a rocket science why the same people, they thief from us. It's not even bad enough that they open the country in the name of free economy. They open the country for Western to come and invest, tap all our resources, all our profit money, and take everything back. That's not even enough. The small one, the small deal where our leader make, they still carry the money go. So, first of all, how do we stop those people who are making deal to put us in this situation live with us? Can we stop them? Maybe we can. Maybe we in diaspora can form a very powerful socio-cultural a political group and start lobbying our leaders in Washington and everything. Come, I beg, these men where they bring come invest for Georgia, so something is wrong somewhere. Maybe some people should form that kind of group, because if we make our because the difference between When they say the other part of the world are not free, one will say, "Do you know what you're talking about? They are progressive." Yes, they are progressive because guess what? They live in that place. There's a reason why Finland has the best education system in the world because everybody go to the same school. It doesn't matter if you are a billionaire son, if you are a president's son, they all in the same school system. So everybody is forced to invest, everybody is forced to contribute. Why can't we go with that system? Let anybody who don't come up for Nigeria should be forget about any contest. No, your investment and everything has to be in Nigeria so that if you screw up the policy, you say will be affected. So, but we are worrying about companies, French mining our us. They want to sell a base. We are not asking. Even the people when they talk that thing, them not get their investment in Nigeria. Once they happen, they will go. So there are so many things until we understand that the fight is still on. It's just that they are still up in upper hand. We don't go anywhere. Because as a German politician, you cannot still put German in a very crooked condition. You want to go and build that in Hollywood, in LA, or in New York, or have a house in there. No, they go. The citizens go follow you. So those who betray Ashanti, those who betray ourselves, betrayers among them that make the West have a power, they are still living among us. They just this time around they are just official. They are official now. Before they do you understand? Take my son go America. I will tell you how to go, how to get this king. I tell you where this king they sleep for night. I tell you what to make this village tick. Right? It's the same thing. They are just now official. They are doing it in an official manner as a president, as a senator, as a pastor, as an imam, as a youth leader. And that's what they are now. Because none of us live among us. None. So we can they will make us to focus on things we cannot control. Terrorists want to set a base in what thing you go do? Nothing. People will go do something and then the government. If you can get the information, then they get out. And I don't expect them to do anything because nobody is holding them accountable. So it's just I just say the thing. There's the reason I don't want to because it's not the same thing. When Buhari was in power, what we never see headline. People are bombing Sokoto because of all those things. Not the same thing. It doesn't matter who is saying it now. All we need to understand who is in power. Those who are crying are because they know they reach them again. The same people that news came out from Abikatina. When the Minister of Defense, State Defense, go home this Christmas, did you see the crowd? Those people look like people that are suffering from terrorists. I am not saying it's not happening, but do they look like they are suffering from terrorism? Because the man himself, he did there. And everybody troop out, like say Jesus Christ is in town. Mr. James. So there are so many things. Once you look this side, you look this side, you see say, man, okay, since Mr. President is in Lagos living his best life. So instead of me and you to be concerned, we have to start doing something. Either we want to work to succeed, we want to get because concern will not bring anything. For me and you to get out of information, them don't already know one because they have more resources to get everything. So terrorist group are member of a society. The question I've always been, what I know the concern about those people is that the gun that they use, Mr. James, even if you I don't want to put you on spotlight, even if your take home salary go buy 100, I don't think you you want to that's what you want to spend your money doing, right? So me and you know we they supply those weapons. Where are those weapons coming from? So this is what is juju now. So everything is an industry, it's a network. It's a network. The same if Boko Haram be set up base for there, the CIA know about it before me and you know. When I mean the CIA know about it, the CIA know who not just who is buying the gun, who manufactured the gun. They know Nigeria more than you. So those are just look at just but Mr. J, do you know why I have this kind of attitude towards them? It is if it is real, it is the kind of fight we should be praying for. May them scatter themselves at the top. But we have to stay prepared. If not, we can't even take advantage of their power. So it's more than just the way that they are. Yeah. Now, the man that said it, Mr. James, to tell you how it's not a general from North. It's the sitting president of Niger, the guy that took power. That was the one that was getting the interview in Hausa, that said everything that he just said. So it's not just an ordinary. That is a sitting president. Guess what? Nuhu Ribadu, our own national security advisor, has responded this morning. Has responded. So made them forget there's nothing like that. That their relationship with the neighboring countries, Niger, Benin, is very solid. So you understand?
Do you
So
expect
we now is also identify problem there and work within ourselves to make sure we use it for our own good. Yes, sorry.
do you expect the Nigerian government to say that the information is true? If it is true,
No, but even if they said it's true, what are we going to do about it?
no, it's not a question of what we are going to do about it. We are analyzing the issues because it affects African people, not because it
But
affects.
but but no city president will come out and make that allegation against you, another city president. It doesn't matter even if they are in there, even though as they war so. That's against the law. It's against the rules, their own rules. Nobody will do. Nobody, and if it's actually true, no city president will come out and say that. Say that.
No, so you mean the man is lying?
For me, that's why I said, is that lie or true? It is not new. It's not new. The story just take a different turn because we have different people in charge. It's not so.
No,
This mining has been going on for 20 years.
we should brace up for very hard time to come. Are you getting
I,
me?
I don't think there's any problem there, sir.
There is a problem.
You know why I say there's no problem? Because all of them are there. They are not fighting themselves. Now we won't fight them. Do we have what it takes to fight them? If we are not going to fight, so where's the problem? They are not fighting themselves.
No,
When I mean them, I'm talking about the explorers. Because that's the most important thing. The people that explore that place. Are they fighting? They're
the
not fighting.
superpower rivalry has been brought to West Africa. Are you getting
Yeah.
me? The Russians and their collaborators, the Americans and their collaborators, West Africa has become a battleground. This is what we are not seeing.
No, but it has always been like that. And the question is that, Mr. James, these people where they benefit, they will never fight against themselves. Now we will fight them. Are we in position to fight? That's the question. You think in China will fight America over what they are getting free from Nigeria? They are not stupid. They will not fight because of that. Now we will make them fight. Are we in a position to make them to fight? Can we say one, get out, you stay? No, but instead we are giving the two of them the same thing they want. This morning, Bola Tinubu bring out communication. What they have agreed, they have renewed their currency swap with China. Like so, we are not in position to fight. So they will never fight. They are not stupid. They will never fight over what they are getting from. They can fight. Why they are fighting in the Middle East? It is because there is a resistant force in the Middle East. Why they are fighting in China? It is because there's a resistant force. Do we have a resistant force? We don't. So why should they go fight over? Why would they fight over us when we give them access? That's the problem. I mean, why would they fight? So our leaders from Niger to Ghana, they can talk all they want. None of them can just say no to any of them. None. If not, they will not be in power. So they are not going to go to. I've never. Somebody should tell me anywhere in this that they went to war because of any part of Africa. No, just a reason why, because we don't have what it takes for them to. We not get one house of nuclear weapons. Why would they be scared? If you tell them no, they will just go sit down for their house now. They go send drone, come destroy your house, kill you, self. They know. So, Mr. James, let's be realistic about some things. Let's be realistic. These things are happening as we speak. These are being made every day within themselves. So,
It's not a question of being realistic or not being realistic. The issue is, as a people, we are not organized. And
ma'am,
organization can only come from the top, not from the bottom. If Nigeria is to change today, the changes, take the economy for example, is macroeconomic, macro, not micro, macroeconomic policies we have to put in place first before micro. We are not organized. Now, take for example, in Borno State, there was Steyr Motor, I think they were manufacturing agricultural tractors in Borno State sometime in the past. In Lagos State, they had Volkswagen. In Kaduna State, they had Peugeot. Innocent is doing its own now. Now, what is happening is this. It depends on those in power. If they don't want Innocent to continue, all they need to do, the next budget speech, after this 2025, 2026 budget speech, they will block all these ways. All the materials is importing, they increase the tax, they do, there are a lot of policies they can use to squeeze the company out of existence. So what I'm saying is, if changes will come to Nigeria, it must start from the top, not from the bottom. People are telling people
okay.
the changes must come from the top. The macroeconomic policies, the political decisions, federal character, or whatever. You see, if the federal government, the judiciary, they are living up to their responsibility, just like it happened during the Jagbon's time, that brief period, changes was coming from the top, not from the bottom. So the
Yes,
idea of telling people, Nigerians, you need to behave properly, you don't do it, it's all sheer nonsense. As long as the top is, as long
Mr.
as the
James,
top, excuse me, as long as the top is rotting, there's absolutely no way the bottom can be well organized.
Mr. James, again, we need to understand one thing. Only free person can determine whatever he or she wants, 100%. If we don't determine who governs us, we don't control our military. What now makes you believe that our economy is under our control?
Good. This is why we are all against
No,
what happened in
no. Hold on, first. Hold on, Mr. James. The idea of top to bottom. No anywhere in human history that I know of that the bottom produce leadership. So why do you think anything can? The people
as
don't count. Yeah, I
if,
don't know how to say this enough.
excuse me, if Nigeria will be good, the changes will come from the top, not from the bottom. This is the point I'm making. You cannot
No,
expect, wait, you can't expect the market woman, the casual laborer, to behave responsibly while people at the top are buying executive jets, building 700 and something
Mr.
people.
James, Mr. James. No. Wait, hold on. You are bringing side attack to the thing. The government don't want you to be responsible. I don't know how to say this enough. We keep trying to be at par with the leaders. No, we don't have anything in common, especially the modern democracy. People need to go out. I don't know if we take our own from American this thing. The five people that founded that are the pioneer of the American Constitution, all of them hate democracy. Every single one of them. Only James Madison you feel make case for. None of them hate the people. All of them hate the people. The idea beneath the current American democracy that we are adopting, the spirit behind it. If I quote John Doe, who is the head of the Constitution committee, who argue all these things, the idea of democracy is to protect the few opulent away from the mass majority, right? Design it in a way they are like the law, the suffer of the Greek. So they make the decision. They are the enlightened ones. That is the idea. That has not changed. See, it's a class society whereby if you are in a position that you are taking order, yes, sir, it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. And now you forget you get your place. So now bringing it here for us to be thinking that our interests will align with them one day, and they will say, okay, let's change because of these people. Umbano, especially when you believe, and I agree with you that we are not organized. So why would they have to change? So no matter the problem they are facing up there, they will always find a way to come together because now one. So if we don't have what it takes to cause problem, anytime we get problem, they will always find a way out because we are not organized for them to even put us in a conversation. That's why I said earlier on, anybody who wants contest for president for Nigeria today, going forward to the next 10 years, no matter where you did for Nigeria, you should put your plan to where. But remember, I say will be there because he has formed a formidable. You don't get like 6 million. You have to factor him. So for the fact that we are not organized, the elite will never. So the change will come when there is a crack at the top. And the fact that if we are not responsible for the crack, or we cannot identify that crack and support one side, it is not going to happen. That's not how the government is built to work. So for them to be expected to be responsible, no. If you are responsible, then they are in trouble. So they will do everything for you not to be responsible. Coming back to the economy. Now, we dey borrow money to give this small scale economy. That's why I say we are not in control. How can we expect them to do that? They borrow money for this small scale. People where they borrow money for, they give you conditions. Don't plant your corn again, we'll give you seed. Don't invest in here, we want to use it. That's what they do. And our leaders, they sign those kind of foolish agreements for their own good because it gives them access to the Western world, it gives access to the remaining small one. So we are not what I mean that we are not in control of our economy. So we cannot even make a decision where or how or where to invest, to encourage. And again, it still boils down to the idea. Again, what would they put out for content whenever we're talking about the likes of Pojo, they don't know that were in Nigeria before. Again, that came with America being British still being in charge of Nigeria. All those are pretty much European companies. By the time America turned up with their gear in 60s to 70s, what happened? When the Pojo they disappeared, today if you go to Nigeria, you will see Ford, you will see GMC, you will see all the American cars. That's how the game works. Oga is coming, so get the fuck out. So again, people are not crediting that to Obasanjo. Now Obasanjo entrance, now finally nail all those companies. They have to pack off. So again, we don't make decisions who to come and invest or what to invest in. You understand? It is not so. If you have to study who is coming, what is the agenda, who is coming, what agenda I give that person. Everybody gets agenda. If you refuse to follow that agenda, you know your way out. Good luck is a critical example. Obasanjo come open the space for them. They invested, kill all our business, and they go. Today now, I was talking about the headline that just surfaced about the Minister of Health saying that 70 companies are coming to take over, pretty much take over the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria. Guess what? It's about to begin real. You know, people buy drugs again, but we have big companies, the fancy ones. So there's so much that if we really want change, we need to understand these nuances and go for that. Let's identify the people that will carry out a policy that is national and then the consequences, because there is going to be consequences. If you want to keep the America out of your country, prepare for it. If you want to keep any of the ally, because that's why I say it doesn't matter who is there, they will never fight. We never see France going against Germany in that place. No, the fact that even the Russia are not fighting says a lot. These people, why did they fight for Middle East? Because there's a resistant force. There is no resistant force anywhere. Well, maybe I don't know, the pirates, I mean the Somalis of those days. There's no resistant force that is against Western way of life. Again, when people they use China as an example, the 100 years of population, and because of what? Because there is a resistant force called what? the Boxer Revolution, who are against Western influence in China. For that reason, today they're against the government that supports any of that thing. And that's why they say, "Come, maybe our hope lies in Biafra." Because last, Mr. James, if let's say what you are saying is true, now you go first I confess. Because you're not saying the fear that you are observing, your observation is not is totally out of the picture. If now that one go first I confess. Don't you see now the Biafra, all of us go fall back to us, away from the south. But now they only they ready. Get weapons. Mr. James, want to say something?
No, well, it's what I've said earlier on, but I have nothing new
Yeah.
to say. For changes to come
Okay.
in Nigeria, it must come from the top, never from the bottom. The bottom cannot effect any change in any political system. The very short time in the past, in the 60s and immediately after the Civil War, we were making some meaningful progress. Those changes were coming from the top. Now, this is what I mean. The crude
Yeah, I
oil was
agree with
flowing.
you. Mr. J, I'm not disagreeing with you.
The
Those
crude,
change for change to come at the top. That means we
yes.
have to envision what could happen, what could possibly come cause the problem. These people have
The
one club. It's not two club, one club. They are one.
The crude oil was flowing at the time. The government at that time thought it wise to set up a larger a complex, a Jakarta Steel Complex, Oshogbo Steel Rolling Mills, Katsina Rolling Mills, Jos Steel Rolling Mill. They built a petrochemical industry in Warri. There was what's it called, a refinery in Warri, two in Port Harcourt, and one in Kaduna. They were spreading
Now, Mr.
development.
James, what kind of government do we have at that time?
Excuse me, no, look, it's all leadership. Now, as they were doing
No,
this,
no, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. What kind of government do we have
now,
at that time?
as they were doing this concurrently, they were fighting apartheid on diplomatic front in South Africa, in Mozambique, in Southern Rhodesia, in Guinea-Bissau, in Angola, at the same time, while they were developing the country. These were men with clear foresight. They knew where they were going. But unfortunately, we derailed. And the
No, no, no,
derailment,
Mr. James, see, Mr. James, this is where you are. When you're not using grammar today, tell us why, what happened, because it's, so that we can view, we can learn from there. Because you just talk story, what is beneath the story?
now the issue is this. While we were making progress at the time, the Western countries in particular, they said no to military rule, as if they are the one to determine how we should rule ourselves. And in fact, they are determining how we are ruling ourselves now. Now, they now brought the idea of two-term limits, so that if a progressive African leader is there, at most he will be there for 8 or 10 years. He will get out and they will determine who to take over. Meanwhile, in Britain, there is no term limit. In Germany, there's no term limit. In Israel, there's no term limit. In Morocco, there's no term limit. Saudi Arabia, there's no term limit. But the first term limit on African people. And we were not smart enough to see between the line. Now, it's a pity I don't have a list here of what Samuel Ogbomodia accomplished in Benin City. No,
Mr. James, hold on, Mr. James, let me
no,
help you out. Hold on. See that, hold on first,
no,
Mr. James, hold on. See, I have problem when we talk a beautiful story like this, because as factual and real those stories are, what are we supposed to do with it, right? Nothing. So this is why I'm saying this, because it is very important when we put things into perspective. Where I ask you, what kind of government are we practicing? This is still the benefits that come from the early independence, right? We're talking about the leaders now.
no,
Independence, right?
not only independence. No, no, no. Look, the independence leaders, majority of them never knew what they were doing. These projects I mentioned earlier on, this steel rolling mill and others, they were all instituted by military dispensations,
Mr.
not
James, let me finish. Let me finish.
democratic
Let me,
independence.
Mr. James, I know the story you are saying. I just want to help people so that people, because there's no way we can organize when we don't know how things actually work the way they are. Right? Yes, it is, I started from there to tell you that what is if you are talking about the country itself came to be in the 60s, and I can't emphasize enough. From the Second World War, America had to, it's now time for them to stamp their foot on ground. The way they are doing it, because they have to change their own way of operation from that of British. British na gra gra. When we like this, see, we know how military, back. I mean, Benin are one of the people who survive on their hand. But one of the things that the American empire introduced to the adventure is the idea of taking power, gathering resources with force is outdated. Let's now use soft power, democracy, and all that kind of stuff. So now, when I say those people, when those people get when they give us independence, it was democracy as I mean, democracy as you see them. You see they don't get any, they don't know what they are doing. You are right, because the government that they adopted, it's not under their control. Right? Now, when military came in, it is when they see that there is a big Cold War going on with the Soviet Union, with Russia, be the arrowhead. That's when the military were able to say, okay, take advantage of this situation. Since America are busy here, are busy there, are busy there, are busy there, let's go. That's exactly what the Israelis are doing now. Come to that already. So when the military take power, what do they do? They align with the USSR. They align because all those. Why they say we should factor put everything into context. All our the Alaja stream, Ajaga stream, that contribution from Russia, the enemy side, quote unquote, of the West. Our democracy is built to suit because that's the only way they can control. That's the idea of using soft power. When they will set democracy, we don't have to use gun. We use soft power to get everything we want. Right? So as soon as the military got called, they hit on with the West, with the because it was also a constitution of ideas, the communist system, the capitalist system. So when the military come, they use that opportunity. Science, grey, and the Russians were pushing hard to make sure that they get territory. All this. So, but again, that's why they always accuse of Obasanjo, because all these things when they take turn, you have to factor in who is coming to power, what's the force bringing into power, right? When we start losing this Ajakuta seat that you're talking about, Mr. J, now pretty much when Obasanjo come to power, from there on, everything begin destroy small until we finally reach the First Republic. Because it just happened a day. So all those gains we are gaining, that's why I say that the government you bring, because you are in control, as a military, they don't control military guy. They can do whatever they want to do. Babangida said it. That the West dare him that they cannot finish the Fort Milan Bridge. And now waiting inspire and be that. Okay, now we'll see, I go do them. So that's why I say, so that when we were organized along that way, we say we're in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, we were able to be building. Obemuda was doing this person was doing this. Yes, because there's a limitable level of freedom in terms of how you navigate the world. If you want to produce, if you want to be self-sufficient and actually aim to be regional power, we have to block all the necessary technology from coming in and build our own. That's what every developed nation did it. So the government in question is very important. That's why we are not in charge of our government. We don't elect our government. So the consequences of them giving us government is what we are chopping. So until now you're talking about when I talk to the leadership at the top, no go fit come. And based on your argument too, that the average poor person know how what it takes, you are right. That is why, if you ask me, the government of the day, the number one focus is to make sure that the people have become poorer. That's the only way you cannot find them back. So, and then at the top, now one club, they can sacrifice one person for the benefit of all. That's what they see from time to time. So they can never fight to that point that we have to take advantage of it. If you look at every other places, Assad that just left to Russia, it is because the military men say they don't tire. We not do again, they don't set aside. So at every junction of when people say, oh, people do this, check what really happened at the top. So if these leaders, I don't see them like people go see that they come, oh, these poor people they go revolt one day. Let's get it. No, they are not. I don't think people like Akpabio will sit down they fear. Say one day Nigeria will rise against them. It's not. I just say reason why. One, he knows the people are too poor. Two, he get boats of private flight that will fly him out of the country as soon as Beijing start. Which one? Those guys has a clear vision, understand, and what leadership was is good, objective. What nobody you are still not getting the point. It's not about how good you are. If you don't have the freedom to exercise leading, of what good, of what use of is it? Of what use? You now, as you did so now, they can't go for Asuro. What do you want to do? Because you have to work within those structures of the government. So are we going to have leaders or a group of people that will come and say, no, fuck what we have now? So that's what you should be. That's what you should be thinking. I'm not saying I also the problem that you guys are pointing out is not there. He said, but these people leaders when they see so, you think they will sit down and think, okay, let's change things? No. Why would they do that when they are making it like blood money and nobody question them? Freedom. You know understand what I mean by freedom to operate. Okay, now you want to make just the idea of Ajakuta State, they had the freedom to go. I mean, or they are not scared. All of them, they no longer, they no need glass again. Anyway, Motola Mohammed, all of them here. We're taking out of power. Why do you think that is? So that is the freedom I'm saying. Can Tinubu say today? Can Tinubu say today? All the mining company in Nigeria, all the exploring company in Nigeria, all the contract that you guys have within my predecessor has been cancelled. You guys need to come out. Let's negotiate. Can he do it? But that's what you need. If you want to bring more investment into it, like Mr. Jemali recommended, that's how you do it. Can this man say, okay, you know what? I don't need loan from Western world. We'll figure it out. We go die here. Can he do that? If he cannot do it, why can't he do it? Is either he doesn't have what it takes or he's scared. It's as simple as that. So you cannot tell me president or president or president or president, all of them are just stupid. No. Something, all of them are scared. What happened to Kwame Nkrumah make it not happen there? What happened to Sankara make it not happen there? What happened to the man in the general happen there? They all know. In addition, those guys, those days, we had strong independent institutions and people we had accused. Again, people see they forget, say, we had kind of freedom to set up some kind of things at that time. The world changed. Everything started changing when America won the Second World War and they had to fight for another 20 years, Cold World War, to destroy the idea. So they had to start their grip up. Again, it's still the same thing when the content of Abuja say this policy will so you have to be there for the next 10 years. How many of them how many of them they campaign? How many of the presidential can they come out and lie? This is no good. That's another thing. How many of them, if they support them or they keep quiet, even though they know that the consequences of this policy is just this suffer is just the beginning. But how many of them they will help put they are scared? If they try for them and they no go be president. And that is because I am this confident because none of them invested in the people. Because are the people that you go stand against you when the shame comes to push. I don't know how to explain freedom to you. I don't ask you. If you cannot your policy, your SDP president say Tinubu policy no be your own. Whose policy is it? Did you ask? I don't know what it is. Not freedom. You don't have freedom to yes.
Thank you very much for the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have some other requests to address.
All right.
Maybe tomorrow is Saturday. If you will be online,
All right.
Yes, I'd like to join you. Thank you so much indeed.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, and also Mr. Mark Enley and the other guys who were kind enough to let us know their opinions. Um, I can't even see their names.
All right, Mr. Jen. Thank you.
Mark Enley, who again? Moses Donald. Moses, is it Donald? Najaman and others. Thank you so much indeed for the time. And we
You're
encourage them
welcome.
to join us tomorrow instead of being on the sideline. They should come on board to make the discussions to be more robust. Good night.
You're welcome. All right, good night. Yeah, Mark, I know where you are. You know God understand because you just believe the things just they happen just because you want it to happen. Right? That's why you know God understand that the word I don't know. I mean when the freedom see I seriously don't understand. You have to know say you have to understand say the word is connected, right? As it's connected, somebody they put string. I don't know how I mean freedom, man. You don't understand freedom. Why are you in America first in the first place? I don't know where you be. Make I know. May I try to explain freedom for you. You left your country because of what? So I don't know. I don't know how now. If you have to understand how the world works for you to understand freedom. Then if you don't understand how the world works, the idea of freedom you go hard because what do you think is happening to Chinese now? Eh? Or look at it like this because yeah, I don't know, Mark. I don't have to explain freedom for you, man. Maybe now because you, I don't know how to explain it to you. Freedom is very self-explanatory. Freedom to do and undo. Why you know free? Why Nigerians they fear to challenge their leaders because of the fear of gun of police abi? That means they don't have freedom. It's okay. It's okay now. I agree. If you think say if una think say this group of leaders wey we get, they will all wake up one morning and say, ah, these people don suffer reach abeg. Oya come. Mo if we think say na so e go be, fine. Or if you think how disconnected we are, even at the macro level, the obedient no wan work with taking it back, and you think we will form a formidable force enough for people like Tinubu to say, ah, no, I have to revise my policy. Good luck, because that's what it boils down to, Abi. I never see anything. Una think say una think say see the fact that say your president in flight is foreign, the car wey dey use is foreign, the food everything is foreign. You don understand say no be freedom be that? Say na lack of freedom be that? You never dey understand. The fact say the communicate wey you take dey communicate for Nigeria, na person you fit switch am off. Dem fit just switch am off and you are done. You still don't understand say no be free na freedom be that. Why? How many country in the country that you live in eh, have their base your their way of life style of living depends on any other person? Where you see that thing happen before? I mean among the world the free nation that you live in. So when we talk of freedom, that's what I mean. You understand? You have to understand why are your leaders behaving what they are. You yourself, you said it. that those guys we are talking about all those leaders. Eh? These leaders are educated, and all our elected, for all of them are educated, and they say they are stupid. So the question you should ask yourself, why are they doing what they are doing? You see, that's why they always try to fight people when the people are not competent. And there's no, what do you mean people are not competent? This is an 5 years old person. Person understand what G-Wagon is. Person know how to fly go vacation. You say he's stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing. Now you don't know what they do. That's exactly what it means. They know exactly what they are doing. Now we don't know what they do. Oh my God. I see my problem with that. Comparative cost advantage. So tell me, what is your country comparative cost advantage? I did tell you. So now be the freedom now. That's the freedom. The fact that you can use what you have advantage of to trade of other person, yes. But in your own case, what you have is oil. Now you the explorer. Now you the marketer. Do you know how it's been done? Ah, I don't know. I don't know. At times, I think I understand us now. The problem. Once you look at the issue, you see the solution right there, and it is you the solution. Now you be the solution. But out of fear, ah, so you just put yourself in a hole. Your competitive advantage, which is your oil, and I put it before you. Are you the one exploring it? No. You will tell me, oh, even sometimes I know they explore their own. You are right again. You are right. But what is their deal? You know they explore them. You know they market them. You don't have any control over your own competitive advantage. And you see, say you don't show that for Committee of Nations. The current leadership are not leaders. The same thing when I talk under Buhari, same thing under Goodluck, same thing under Jonathan. The problem here is you then. If you keep saying the same thing leader after leader, and now you they repeat those things, and then it's you. Like this is forget grammar, forget just think am. Just think am in the very little stage you understand am. You say correct leadership are not leaders. Okay, I agree with you. They are more about their. Oh God! But you again, you are disagreeing with me. It's my problem is that you, as I say, you know the problem, and the solution is right there. Now you be the solution. It is your action that will bring the solution, but you are scared of doing it. It's a everyday the leader. A human being. You where they expect a human being should do right by you. Now you be fool. Ah, are you be fool now? Which one the way Mr. James has to refer you to those? It's the same thing. I'm saying this. Nobody they disagree with you. If you say the leader is a fool, what does that say about you? We put out there. It is your fault. Unless you say you don't have the power to put in there, which again you are making my point of freedom. Eh? So nobody disagree with Mr. James. Mr. James just shine light at the problem, right? But again, because Mr. James no understand how the problem take the problem in the first place, he can't provide solution. You can only say, "Oh, those people have to change." Are you mad? You say those people are on their own self-interest, but you say the solution will come from them. I don't understand. Again, why does election don't count? My problem is that we know all the problem. Of course, all of us go want to primary school. Why why election do they count in Nigeria? No, I'm not disagreeing with Mr. James. I say make him tell me how we take around all those problems. What you cannot explain is that means You cannot find, just like you go submit a master give you equation, you just go submit answer. They say do the working, show me the workings, because it is the working that me, the next coming generation, that we study. I don't the outcome is already known, is glaring. I want to know the working, right? How come we have Ajakuta steel in the 70s? Oh, that means that leader know what things they do. Okay, okay. This leader, so how it take be, how it take get there? So it's a process to everything. Why in they have like this? That's why they thought in a nation state, it is not about you. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are. Screw it, because not the interest of every other person. So your what you know is on the table, but it's not secondary. So if you say election no dey war, no count, why? And again, Mr. James saying this leaders in the 70s we don't know what they are doing, and I agree with him. I say this is why. So una no dey believe say things no dey happen spontaneously. There's a reason why somebody is happening. There's a reason why Obi and Showore are allowed, because dem get people wey dey follow them. That's all. And that's another thing why they try to tell the Donald Trump this year. If you don't have anybody to follow you, who cares? Now you know they overflow ground. Now me they start let you know say anytime they tell you say the Nigerian problem is this, ask the person how we take arrive at that problem. Because 99% of the time the solution is in the process. Alright? Only you agree that the leadership be on their first interest, then you call their saying that them go change. You go wait time be that now. You go wait. If me as a leader, you are expecting me to change, keep waiting. If you don't force me to change, I will never change. And how do you force me to change? You have to look around me, what matters to me most. My relationship with the Western born matters to me most. Go block them and see if I don't go listen to you. That's the problem. As that's why I dey always like this conversation. There's a reason why they write book, is to explain why things happen. We all know we are colonized. How did it happen? If you don't know how it happened, we cannot walk away from it. That's why, like, who they disagree with you that election does not work? I am asking you, don't tell me it doesn't work. You should be able to tell me why it doesn't work. I'm not disagreeing with you that it works, because if I'm going to tell you that it works, I should be able to tell you why it works. Just because of weak institution, so the institution are made by who? By we Nigerians, and we people with the institution. If you say no, now leaders they put institution together again. There you go again. The leaders, who put the leaders there? People are not held accountable. Who's supposed to hold them accountable? Me and you. So again, you go back to what I'm saying. Why is it that you are not doing your part, but you are expecting him to do his own part? So again, if you just pay attention, the Nigerian solution is right in front of us. It's just you. Just act. Stop thinking that one person will change. Now lie. Your hope is, oh, they go elect Obi. What if Obi is not elected? What if Showore is never elected? What Google is never elected? And that's what the book I read earlier on just was trying to say. It has nothing to do with the figureheads. It has nothing to do with the leaders. You work, the body of work will set the leader on fire. Make Bola Tinubu know today, say the whole Nigeria will come to his defense. Now, I am not saying Nigeria is not coming to Bola Tinubu na Nigeria for no. Let's put it to your own understanding. Bola Tinubu go say no go France again if we can have his back, but because we cannot have his back, fuck other person go. These things is happening, as I say, now all of us. The Nigerian problem is we cannot figure out ourselves how to live, how to actually build, how to be civilized. You have to put it that way. Brother say, oh, this person do this. We get independence. When tell person how we take do and say, oh, we negotiate, we didn't fight for it. So now be the same idea. So oh, we African, we just open our hand, we are too nice, you go man. Now lie, now lie. It has now lie. Ah, you when they friends your community because of your national neighbor. Now foreign now come call you go accept them. Does that even make any sense again? Yeah, but now the same story where they repeat every day. Not me and you, or let me tell. So who not like who using me and you is a figure of speech, which means the masses, right? Outside the leaders. I mean, you be president, now you be senator. So it's me and you. And again, that's it. That's the problem. We dey wait for when one person just leader just come mysteriously and set us. No, if una dey find solution for what the government is putting before you, you no go see am. That's why when Mr. James come and talk about the news coming out of like, that no be news be that now. It's news now because now different people dey talk am, and that's because the leadership has changed. German were not in Nigeria signing contract 10 years ago. Why are they there now? So again, everything boils down to freedom. You understand? You dey live for other person country, you say you no understand freedom. You get passport to come back to your country now, one you say you no understand freedom. Why are all these things? You understand? Our leaders cannot be incompetent, stupid, and foolish for 50, 60 years. It doesn't work like that. Something is not right. Say Ghana had an ex. Oh my God. All these people say. My problem with una be that. America no get election too. Wetin be Ghana had an election? It doesn't only in say election no dey work. You see they refer to election. So what do you think that because election dey no work for Nigeria, go work for America? Or you go work for any other place? Ah, the result was that. So now when they announce the result with the problem. You see, again, like my problem with that. Our leaders understand us. They know how to put fresh bone, fresh fish for us to the wake up to that. So Ghana do result, you come and say, okay, now I can be waiting. Only say election no dey count. So now because they no fit announce the result, e no count, or because they fit announce am. There's good in comparison. There's good. I don't think it gets comparison, but just break it down when you dey compare, so that people we learn from there. They go adjust their own what they are working on. Again, you now keep this idea of people know the result. Does that it's again? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. From the problem we think we are, election no matter. MD who you are voting for is not coming out to carry your wish. Where does it matter? It never matter. It never matters in the days of British. I mean, it's not going to matter now. Like people need to understand the changes, the difference between the American Empire and the British Empire, their rhythm of operation, how they operate. It's different. As I said, when I talk, if you don't understand World War One, you don't understand what is going on. So the fact that the French left Niger, come Nigeria, now let me hear you talking about now. Sorry, I think it's a problem. Now Nigeria territory is under American control. Who come in and misbehave? You see things they don't know. Leadership is key. How you get the leadership is what you guys don't understand. As exact, okay, maybe you don't have me now. Bring that point, bring that down. I never disagree with you now in terms of leadership. I just dey tell you how the leadership they match and how they operate. That's what you guys could not comprehend. How you get your leader? How do you get your leader? That's what we matters now. Uh-uh. Again, it goes into the working. Don't just give me answer. How do you arrive at answer? So how do you arrive at the leadership is the key, it's not the leader. Somebody said it is not the ability, the freedom to vote that give you power. It is the power that gives you freedom to vote. Does that make sense? So leadership is the key. How you arrive at your leaders is the key. The current structure that is set to produce our leader cannot give us people's leadership. You know why? Because it started by group of interest putting the money together to buy primary political process to which the large majority of people are exempted. So that's why when Sina resolution was trying to talk about we try to define democracy by the people of the people and the people. I say no, it's how many people. Yeah, it is, I understand what you mean. We cannot forget that the democracy, the whole process of selecting the president start from party primaries. First of all, the party, let's use the Americans as an example. Already the country, they don't split that into two. Now one side will produce president. But even at that point, that one party, they don't slam down. Everybody know we have a say. It has to be what delegates. There's a reason why. Because it goes back to what I said about John Doe, the guy, the who pretty much contributed, the leader of the constitution, the American constitution thing. It goes back to what this that spirit of constitution is about. Says that you have the democracy to produce the few opponents once in the society, away from the majority. If you go back to the days of the queen, it's the same. Again, see, you are just doing everything you can to take the problem away from seeing you as the problem, as the solution too. What is institution? It is a weak institution. We go buy the institution for Ghana. I mean, we go buy for Mozambique. Not be we the Nigerian people from the institution. Either you say na leadership again or you say na the people. Either way, na we. Why did they shift your attention like this? You see, again, it is because by the time you begin to process the reason behind all these things, you begin to say, come on, I actually contributed to this bullshit. You go to see yourself in it. That's why you dey use big time you words leadership. So the people tell you that leadership is the problem. Then who the fuck is the leadership? Obviously, we consider that leadership is the problem. Who come with the leadership? Eh? As if leadership now house. Now me and you. Now the people, our collective doings, active and inactive, produce what we have. The institution we have, the leadership we have, everything we have. It is me and you, our inability to act and inability not to act that give us what we have. Until we have strong independent institutions. Okay, why are we not having them? Why are our institutions not strong and why our independence are not independent in our leadership? How do we arrive at that leadership? So again, is the result, the problem and the solution is right in your face. It's you and nobody else. And now until you see like that, you cannot work with me, regardless of how I say it. You cannot work with the next level. That's why you see the obedient and the take it back could not even see beyond their nose. Institution is corrupt. Labour Party na institution is corrupt. They don't get power, they are corrupt. AAC, let's say I'll put their corruption. NMPP, I will put. Those are Nigerian institutions. I mean, what is the institution? The presidency itself is an institution. Your family is an institution. So when we're talking about institution, I don't know what we're talking about. Talking about Nigerians. And I keep saying this, that the major difference between we human beings and other animals is that we can come together in tens or hundreds, millions and do something which other animals can be challenged. So the fact that we cannot come together, we Nigerians, and build strong and independent institution, shame on me and you, my brother. And people are held accountable by who now? Nigeria has to be held Nigerians accountable. I mean, Ghana will go hold accountable. No, after all, America, they hold our leadership accountable. They do anyhow, I see anyhow. Because currently we have loads of scumbag and the corridors of power. Now thank you for insulting me. Because now we bring them come power. Me and you, those scumbags, they are our parents, they are our relatives, they are our neighbors, they are our enemies, they are our girlfriend. But we eat sleep. I mean, I don't understand why we do this. You still not getting it. Now the names, whether they take put, now they deceive you. Judiciaries. Judiciary are Nigerians. It consists of Nigerians. The Deleparo team is the Babalolas. The ideologies. Those are our judiciaries. Eh? I don't know how it doesn't matter which name you use. Leaders, institution, judiciary, they're all Nigerians. Yeah, you. So it doesn't matter where you're there, either you power, you know the power. You see, that's just something for being a Nigerian. You can't win, of course, because you are giving up on yourself. Because you are able to see that to come on. I mean, so no, seriously, right? If you want to build institution, now we will go use build I mean, oh, maybe AI don't come. We will use AI. Now people they control. See, this idea of freedom, the day when it go done, I hope it never too late. Because today, let's again when Mr. James they talk about post Nigeria, and they see his reason, he just don't see where I'm saying it from, right? I said it before. By 2030, the Arab movement, the Arab ideology, the Islamic ideology will control the dominant structure in our political structure. By the time they say no more Western education for the whole country, what are you going to do? Tell me. Yeah? And that time, you are expected to say no, fight back. But when some group of people are in total control of the political structure, that means the judiciary, as you talk about, the schools, the nurses, every other thing that you can think of, right? They have the upper hand, and they begin to use their influence. They begin to kick American companies out. They begin to kick all those Western ideas, everything that to do with it. What do? The West will either fight back. How do they fight back? Let me use the current technique that we use fight back. They will just sanction us. Overnight, we'll not go fit use communication again. All our communication will be banned. We'll not go fit communicate. We'll not get internet again. I'm back in the Stone Age. All our share food will finish. And this thing will happen, not go happen overnight though. Because the question, how long will take? So under 5 years, then cut us out. That's a good thing. People like Nigeria will celebrate. It's a good thing. At least we go focus now, Abi. And that focus means we go fight ourselves internally. We will fight that second civil war. You understand? That's where we are. That's where we are. That time you go understand freedom. So it doesn't matter the name, the way we give up, leader, institution, structure, whatever. The underlying cocoa be say is Nigerian. It's me, all this is of Nigeria, me and you. If you write, go write from Moscow. Thank you, Mark. I'll catch it up with you. I'm not giving up myself. Then cities from the realist perspective. See where you are. I stop imagining what will not come without hard work. I pointed out to you, we cannot agree on everything. But for sure, but no, I know. No, the beauty of our conversation is that as time goes on, everybody points will begin become clearer, right? It's either you understand my point more, or your own point begin to have the dominance of the day. So that's the beauty of having this kind of conversation. You see, we no go back to. We try as much as even me and Mr. James try as much as I can to restrict names, even name of the actor. But anytime we call person name, we no go say this person is corrupt. We just say this is what happened. I mean, it's a better way of having a conversation. Even though me and Mr. James are saying the same thing, I never disagree with him. We just disagree with the solution, where and how the solution will come, right? And he is basing the solution on the outcome of what we are seeing now. And I'm saying yes, but in order for you to actually get a different outcome, you need to understand how we get to what you think is good or bad. Not as a majority carry the vote. Yes, I agree. But how do you arrive at that majority? People will be suppressed, people will be disfranchised. All this, not be saying that Nigeria they happen. Oh. From day one, the people that propagate the idea of democracy, electoral democracy, now then they do and they come. So the Mogo, this man, you know the holiday, holiday. No be free man they go holiday. Person they call check for the go holiday. They're not gonna call the check for me again. Call. Only person wey dey give me sef check na him dey go holiday o. Holiday I dey so. Holiday me. Holiday call. This holiday is, 10 years ago, I go for don dey village now. they go for one picnic to another, party to another, just dey live it up 24/7. But time has changed, the focus are different, and so yeah, what a conversation though. You see, it still boil down again to the whole origin of ideology. So our country, until we begin to understand what real freedom is, what is going to cost us, because few people know the cost, and that's why they are acting the way they are doing. You understand? Our leaders, it's not that they are like they are very competent. I swear to God, competency. I'm not saying this jokingly because you need to understand how the system is set up. You need to understand this presidential system of democracy that we are practicing. If you understand them, then you understand the kind of power dynamic interest that is within the Nigerian space. Then you have no choice than to cut down for the leaders where we get so. Now, their geniusry, their capability, their is it working for us, the majority? No. And I am not surprised. I'm not expecting it to because that is not how it designs to be. It is designed to annihilate majority. It is designed to keep majority striving. It is just keep the majority. I think America is the most successful economy known to human today. That's what it be too. It go change. If people don't, or especially with the diaspora, so where they bring come, we don't understand in from that angle because after all, when you want 1 million naira before today, you want 2 million. So your life for your life, if you say you don't reach it, you don't forget that you look up. Is it far? So the fact that they brought us here, they put us in a specific condition above some people. We think no, life is not supposed to be like that. America should not supposed to be the standard. Chinese should not supposed to be the standard. We supposed to have our own standard, and the only way you can have your own standard is if you are free to even want to go that route. You agree with the name calling is allowing. In every event, negotiation is prominent, needed. That's it. That's human. Now what it make us civilized animals with that? Ability for us to sit down and look dead in that same I don't like you. You're not supposed to like me. I'm not supposed to like you. But this place, oh, I won't live here because this place is conducive for me. It's, everything there. And you say if you they see what they see. But the way you war now, I don't give it. So that is the cost. Even people when they fight war at the end of the day, Second World War, after they destroy themselves, finish, they still have to sit down and stand treaty. so so we need to understand that the structure, we just have to go study the spirit that brought the so-called our system of governance together. But it is even too late. Because it doesn't even matter if we have a control of our government. If we don't have the control of the most important, the economy is useless. South Africa is a great example. So I don't know how people think say things just they work like that. Doesn't. The whole planet Earth, some people don't claim as in I don't get them. Nobody say nobody I not saying I don't get them. They claim them. Now it's not left for you to say, okay, man, fuck off. if you have what it takes. That's the whole point. That's why the faith, going back to the earlier conversation, we Africans, we the Africa, we don't understand that it is not over, that the fate of other civilization, other races can happen to us. As they always use are the Americas. I'm not talking about United States, the America continent as a whole, south and north. My brother. Now people that look like me and you be populated everywhere before. Now don't be saying they were the only freaking people. Today, they are not allowed to argue. Oh God. And when tonight they try to remind us, they come, it can still happen again. I see where he's coming from. People don't get this. The Americans, they wipe them like wiped out. Nobody say they just pray they vanish. They do them as they take you one, they take you two, key three, key four, every way you think possible. The whole fucking continent. They made. Do you know what that means? People, see, this world now. When they leave Africa, why they talk say we are in illusion of freedom. We today think that all this thing will that country to do so we fit do am. What the Chinese do we fit do am, but we don't talk about what we need to sacrifice to get there. That's the problem I'm having. We are quick to use Brazil as an example. Do you know what they went through? Do you know the people where they Brazil, where they Brazil, nobody done it there again, nobody done it there before? Oh my God! Everything people is that's why as I said, the movement to retell history is going on as we speak. It's as we speak. No. Two Nigerian narrative is very point. It's not pointless. Na the same way as una dey see una Naija conclude, na so I dey see una own. Una no wan see the problem, how is dey involved. So two Naija no understand why we get insecurity in the first place. So if you don't know why we have insecurity, why people like Shehu they call us our machinery, then it doesn't matter the solution you are providing, it's buncon, it's nothing. That's the problem I have with that. And the same thing una too. Una say the leadership, na there the problem, na there change go dey. But how do we arrive at that leadership first? Una don't understand that part. So the continent of Africa, the world power knows say they know they have sleepless nights because of anywhere, any inch of Africa. The only place where they give them sleepless night is Gaddafi. And that is because he's pretty much in control of his territory. That's it all. Who comes and goes in, it doesn't matter who you are, you have to submit. That's why. So tell me, that's why I say what is happening in the north and the northern Nigeria and the Niger, it cannot be escalated to the point that the party involved will suffer. Now we will suffer. They will just dey give people around there. Because there's no need for them going war to war when there's nothing to push them to do that. There's no resistance force in anywhere in Nigeria except the Biafra. Nowhere. So why Italian man go fight China? When the motor when they drive for Italy, then they produce that for China. Does that make sense? Why? But you're talking about comparative advantage. If you stop me from money anything at all in Nigeria, my brother, you don't go feel important battery again. No. That's the dilemma the European nations are in order to go in 100% with what America wants against China. They made them start, when they put tariff 100% on the Chinese things, they come to China, they come to Europe. And China, if China apply the same measure, we know Germany will be vanished within 10, 20 years. The same to all of them. That's a cooperative advantage. They have something to cover. What do we have as a cooperative advantage among every other nation? And the talk I hear before, if Nigeria ceases to exist today, nothing will happen. Niger, Benin, no go feel am. They no go feel am. We are not important in today's world. Mark my word. The only thing we are for will be they need us for consumption. The government cannot feed its population. It's not. It cannot even pay the cost. How they go do? So there's so many things we dey aim high because we will go school. We want to be like how you know America. I get that's how they talk when people dey think say the poor people for America, the poor people they actually make any change when it comes to power. They got people sit down design this country just like man as you go for village, you go clear land, come plant corn or plant yam. And so be America. Group of people come clear am, build wetin dem want. They come bring you come. They overnight because you don't get you want you dey mad. That's how it has been. And that how it will always be. I mean, I don't know why people don't understand that. The man wey dem forcefully go carry for Africa come go dey farm acres of land. The policy that was drafted, the reason that he or she was brought, was the same thing that will apply to you today. Nothing changed. Then bring you, not just the process again, the workings. It's just the process of getting you here that differs. The same work when they carry that man come do for plantation, that's what you are doing as a doctor, as a lawyer. I don't give a fuck, even you as the president was doing. My guy. Uh, again, freedom. Why you know if you do am for your land? Why do you have to come? You say, oh, my leaders no good. Why are your leaders no good? Because they collect a good year from Oyibo man. That's a story, man. That's a story. The idea that they collect good years, I think for me, it's a narrow way of even seeing things. The bigger picture is that freedom. Once everybody understand that, you are in this planet to wander around without any restriction. Wander around now, figuratively speaking, with your brain, anything you can think, you can imagine, you should be able to bring it to bear if you want to. Once that is being constrained, you are finished. And the easiest way to constrain that is through your school. The curriculum, everything that you learn, according to Bob Marley, can teach and then give you. So you cannot know more than that. we would depend there for to reason, which is the schools. We depend on them to be spiritually conscious, which is the church and the mosques. We are gradually starting to depend on them to feed. And people still don't understand that a free man don't live like that. That means if there will come a time they go tell him na only what you will chop in Nigerians, Ukraine they fight war, everybody they share for now, no get wait again. But people can't understand why. You say government no good, government are incompetent. They are not incompetent. They are just fucking do whatever they are doing brilliantly without giving a fuck about you. That is not incompetency. That is the competency at the highest level. Make I come your house, carry you what belong to you, eat them for your front, walk out, come out. Not because you are not, you don't get sense. Because you are scared, you are not free. You know, you don't do me anything. If you carry hammer, back my head. He said, now I run. I'll fight now and die. But you are scared of going through these three phases. I'll come back again. I will come again. I will continue to dey come. Matter how far, I don't need to call again. I'll call your son. Hey, educator, empower, only you go dey bring her dey come. Only you go dey bring the food for me for house. That's exactly how kings used to live. Okay, each class, citizen in every society plays a big role, be it upper, middle, and lower class, in a functional society which motherland. No, there should not be upper, middle, and lower class. Why should we have upper, middle, and lower class? What do you kind of come this world? We brought nothing. We come empty-headed. So why you be upper class? That's why I said the idea of a nation state is not how we human ought to be living. That's why you see chaos everywhere. No, we cannot live like that. There's no that is why they create the nation state, just that there will be hierarchy. First class war, first war, second war. Like, no, right? It is not supposed to be like that. But now that it is, that means something is wrong somewhere. Why am I speaking English? Because somebody at the course of that civilization between my generation to come, something happened. So why you don't want to understand what happened? So why do we have class? Why? So that's a question with you. See, those are the things. If you actually want to get to where we are as a people, because if you have class, you say it's okay to have class, then it's okay to have a third world country. It's okay to have people who cannot feed a day. It's okay to have some people who determine what goes wrong. It's okay to have a president who say, like, that's what you are saying. And again, now they don't brainwash all over, not just Nigeria now, all over the world, that all these things are normal. It is not normal. The hunter and gatherers were not living like that. They just they flex, they move around. So the idea of a nation state is at the core foundation of control, which again boils down to what I say about freedom. Once you are being controlled, you don't get freedom. I said it before. I don't give a fuck how much you are being paid. If you are still taking order from person, my brother, the guy where the village always saying, "We go wake up and do whatever is better than you." Like I said, I see no future in motherland. The rot is deep and it's out across religions body. No, you can. I see your what you are saying, but I think the way of you saying it is the problem. It's not about motherland, as I said. First of all, you as a person, when you begin to say you are not free, eh, trust me, and you start on that ground, He go ignite the other person. He go ignite it before it goes like that. And again, now journey with it might not the result you are looking for might not come in your generation. Could come in 20 generations to come. But did you make it as a point that I'm going to live free so that when my next generation will come, we stand on that ground. They will keep fighting for it until you achieve. Who told you it was not meant to be like that? It was not meant to be like that. Tell me. Who designed the world that some people should be rich, some people should be poor, some countries should be this, some countries should be that. One person should be intelligent, and one person should be like. In what parameters do you divide? Do you even define intelligence? In what? In what? In what? In what? In what? Who put the laws down? That's why anytime we want to say somebody is intelligent, non-intelligent, we narrow down to some specific issue, matter, subject, and all that. It's because now it's our standard, now individual standard. What exactly? Who created the profession? Now we create the profession, and so we create and we call a full hierarchy for them. Eh? Now we create a profession now. Come and you come with profession. As I said, we all come empty-headed. Every one of us. Now person come mold us. Some people mold us according to what they want. Exactly. So, but what are your limitations though? What are your limitations? If you say your limitation is that you're not a doctor, okay, that should just say the person who went there and become a doctor is a doctor. So why should that person be more important than you just because he's a doctor? Just because he's an aeronautic engineer? Just because he's elected to be president? Why should he be more important than you? Because there's something that you know that he doesn't know too. So the idea of one is better than one. Now we they create that for our head. You are not born to come and be looking up to another man to show you how the world should be or where to aim at. The standard that the West set for us is where we aspire to. Do you ever think about that for a minute? That none of us can aspire beyond what the West has set for us. That's why you cannot see anytime when somebody do anything black, you say first. And it's because there's a need for us for them to do it like that. Not even in the early days, according to you want to talk early days, you're talking about Christianity. Now people form the Christianity. So what is early days? So the generation that came before those that found Christianity are not, they don't count. Oh, you think you're better than them? So when you say early days, what do you mean early days? Because it's Christianity. What are people? My papa don't go church. But I go. My daughter will go. My son will go. Everybody will go. Does that mean Christianity started from me? I will not discard what my father used to believe in, or his grandfather, his great grandfather. So the idea of early days is very subjective in this point. So Christianity is no hard, man. No, if I look past the days of the Greek and the Roman, we'll actually see Christianity there. I'm using it as an example too. If you say Christianity, right? So all you need to use that same analogy. Where about the generation that came that didn't know it existed? Because now people, just like we now can't discover phones, right? What about the generation? Does that mean phone know they exist? People don't apply know they before the phone, we prepare the phone. So everything you see today, now we human beings build them, now we construct them, now we bring them to bear. The world as we have it, the idea of America, the idea of Nigeria, the space, the idea of the world, the continent, now we human beings, our interaction, our disagreement, our fight, everything and shape what we have today. So the question you should ask yourself before the nation state, how human beings they live. Because nation Christianity, organized religion begin to flourish after the birth of the nation state. So that's why when Mr. James was talking about, oh, when this group of people in Africa did their neighbor no we can fight them. That's not doesn't even it don't follow any logic as far as I'm concerned. Because the idea of neighbor is not even there. And if we want to go with their conceived notion that we know they see our eye to eye, we dey always fight. How come somebody that look like us we hate them, somebody who look for them we embrace them? Does it make sense? Our Africans they are the first explorers first of the country of the planet. Do they have story to tell? What is their story when they were traveling around the world before the barbaricness of the Western world begin to surface? The mother themselves anyhow. Just idea to have a control of today's world. Even with our native belief, which I am a bit knowledge of, they had different strengths as individual communities. We are still not getting it though. Me and you get different strengths. Does that make me more important than you? That I have to design how you should live? That's the point I'm making. I'm saying the current way of the design now is not normal. I'm not saying, of course, in the hunter and gathering days, first day way strong pass. We go whether say as a warrior, the hunter, everybody get role based on their ability. Nobody gets status. Of course, now the idea for them to work together, they begin get that okay. This person did a lot for us. If to say no because of this warrior, that snake, that disaster, those other guys for kill us. For that, we are going to honor him. Maybe they carry food good, we are making no go farm again. That's how this whole heretical thing started within the small enclave that you are talking about. It has never gone beyond that. So the idea we have a group of people that have to do this and put them because of subsequent interaction with, remember, superpower then now when I meet you fight you win, now you super. The idea is one person did there be super, they. It is because of the discovery. What I want Mr. James to say talk is that when the West they come to us, they know they fit. You cannot come to my house and beat me now. Like, does that even make sense to anybody, no matter how weak you are? But it is what they advance in discovering the gunpowder technology that now what change the world with that. They just went on spray. They just begin level everything in sight. And it's still happening. Who discovered the next superior technology rule the game? So if you say were able to discover technology that they used to conquer us, and since then we never fit discover another one that was superior, then we have a conversation. Then we could begin to ask why we never fit discover. Then we could begin to understand that these people never really left. People will come conquer us, they are still very much with us. How do we weed them out? So when they discover gunpowder revolution, it changed the planet Earth as we see it today. The planet Earth was the whole planet changed. They wipe out who they could. They like hey fucking see Mark. Go study history of 100, 200, 300, 700, all those from that time when this barbarism, this thing starts. You go understand say your people, they no be as they tell you today. Over in sports, we have winners and second. Oh God. Sport now we create so we create winners and again. I still tell you now, all these are not natural. So the people will create what is the logic behind them when they create Sport na spectacle. But if I tell you it's an act of the again, the controllers of the world empire then to distract the people when people are getting angry too much, they are finding a way to invade the power that be the they will have to form a one way to keep them distracted, form a colosseum, form a circus, as they call another in the British time. That's what this sport is all about. Now people see creator and again in the same school, even the school where they go today, the school started the way the contemporary school that we have today, this past 150 years old, I mean 200. Yeah, all the fathers of America they educated themselves. Even the schools we did that, but the education system that we have in the whole world today, it wasn't like this. It was set up like this for a specific reason. It comes with what? The industrialization era. You have to educate people to be focused, educate people to be obedient, educate people to. That's how you do all this. That's the whole idea of school. Even people will tell you that even the idea of women coming to force it was allowed because you have more people into the tax bracket now. Who told you it's not natural? What is natural about sports? Olympic na natural. So many people they come together. Like now organized sports they talk. In the regular sport, in the regular sense of it, if me and you they play for them, nobody will not carry position. You are goalkeeper. Let's say you soccer, you are goalkeeper before what I don't finish. Then we go come together and say this one our captain. It's still the same. So everything now, women being arranged and there's a spirit, there's a philosophy in everything that is organized. All you need to do is to find out why. There's a reason. If you know why we get church, if you go deep enough, you will know why we get church. If you know why we chop with right hand and left hand, if you go deep enough, you found it. How you doing? Am I taking your spot? Oh my! I am fine because I see what you're holding there. Mhm. Sorry, I have to use my voice now. I'm live. That's why. All right, appreciate you. Now, Mama have to bring you in too. Are you ready to talk politics? I, I'm not laughing the way the way that comes to mind your reaction. Like, no, I'm not gonna fight you. That's not. Young people talk politics. They're the work ones. What you mean, young what? Young enough not to know about how politics works. So then why don't you want to talk about it? Maybe I want to learn. It is sad. Damn. I wish I can disagree with you with your notice about negativity and all that kind of stuff. But you said something that you can only do a little bit. So the spirit is to make it go round. Do your part, encourage the next person to do part that before you know. So Ryan, see, we're talking about it already. It is sad. That's why I got you. See, somebody's accusing me. I should leave you alone. All right, I'll do that. It's all politics, okay? And not much to it. Oh man. So, Mark, everything begins. Everything has a beginning. If you want to know why we use our right hand, why we speak, or we do whatever we do, there's always a genesis. And 99% of the time, the reason behind why all this is done is always there's an underlying factor, which most of the time is not far from what power or money. Uh, you don't have to. I've been 3 hours now. Mark, see you. Let me cause